Live. Hey guys, Professor Bell, Comic Book University. My review, surprise, for The Gifted, Season 1, Episode 2. Meant to do this when it actually came out. No, just wasn't meant to be. Wasn't in the cards. So instead I'm here and at freaking just about 6:30 a.m. Anyway, just got finished watching this. Not a lot happened in this episode. That's not to say it wasn't exciting. This was a really good episode. I honestly thought that maybe the first episode was going to be good because Bryan Singer was involved. Now he's just executive producing. He's not actually directing any of the rest of these. So I'm like, okay, this will be okay. Nope. This was actually really good. I didn't see much of any difference between the first and second episode. In fact, I kind of like this one better. It's not to put down Bryan Singer. No. It's just we actually got to see some Lorna Dane in this. Polaris was kicking some booty. She overcame her collar. So just here, Polaris goes in prison and she's in a lockdown. And there's a bunch of people in there. Some of them are mutants. You could tell because they got the collar on. Now, it's a shame and it says a lot about who we are as people. That's one of the things that I have always loved about the X-Men is that they give you a good insight on who you really are. You know what I'm saying? There are a whole lot of people who want to sit here and, say, oh, I'm a member of so-and-so religion. Okay, but for pretty much every single religion that's ever existed, there's always been some sort of a prophet. Now, there were usually always people who opposed that prophet and want to hurt that prophet, possibly even kill him and all of his supporters. So now, today, hundreds of years, at least dozens, depending on what religion you're following, but usually hundreds, maybe thousands of years after the fact, it's easy to say, I would have stood with this prophet. But when you're actually faced with the fact, right then, right there, at the moment, and rocks are being thrown, or guards are being called, and swords are coming out, maybe today, guns are being drawn, how willing are you to stand with somebody who nobody else seems to believe in? Scary thought, right? So that's pretty much what this question asks, because here we go, we got mutants in here, and the mutants aren't exactly being friendly with each other. You got other people in this prison, and they're not being friendly with each other, and it's just, you think about that, you're the new fish. You know what I'm saying? You're the new fish. Hey, we're going to have to jump you in, you know what I'm saying? Break you down, put a beating on you a little bit, let you know who's boss down here. Actually, I think it's the warden. After that, it's these for-hire prison guards who think that they're cops. That's who in charge. No. Besides them, when you're all in the same situation, why do we look towards the people who are in a worse position than we are? That's what this was just doing for me today. I'm looking at this episode and I'm thinking to myself, this is a damn good social commentary. It's just me. I've always loved sociology when I was in school, when I was younger, even when I wasn't taking sociology anymore. I still love psychology, all that good stuff. Absolutely love it. So this TV show, I think more than anything else that I'm aware of that's on today, really covers that well. There were a couple of problems with Polaris, namely when first off, I love that she went in, she took a shower, and she washed out the dye from her hair to show that her hair is naturally green. Thank you. This was the one complaint that I had last episode, and you just literally said, hey, Bill, got you covered. Look at these guys. Love you, man. Love you. That was very cool. I dug the hell out of that. That was great. One thing that was weird is that her makeup was still on. How exactly did that happen? How was her makeup still on? She still had the eyeliner? Whatever, I'll let that go. Seriously, I'll just completely let that go. Because I don't want to find out that's actually a part of her. But, no issues with that. There's literally just a little bit of a, aha. That aside, it was cool. Another little problem I had with it is I don't know why everybody had such an issue with it. Everybody's in the showers looking and whoa, you got a girl who later on Polaris comes up in the lunchroom and tries to, hook up with for the sake of, muties sticking together. What happens? This girl's got pure white skin and cracks and scales all over the place. She looks like an egg. Is she like the Humpty Dumpty mutant? I don't know. But you got that in there. And here's this girl with green hair. And that's where everybody's like, oh, come on, man. That was a bit much. And that's it. I'm done with complaints. Oh no, I do have one more complaint. I'm going to get to that, but it's a good complaint. I think. Polaris held her own in this. I'm sorry, I'm a huge Polaris fan. Polaris held her own in prison, and just chin high. There's only so far you could put your chin down anyway when you got that collar on you, but like she fought through that collar and went after that girl. I wish that she would have fought against the collar itself, but when you're in a rough situation, that was cool, man. She totally fought through that. Like, I'm seeing shades of Daddy there, right? You guys know the scene I'm talking about. Actually, they showed it twice in 2 different movies, but you know the scene I'm talking about. Yeah, with Magneto and the I think it was Auschwitz, whichever concentration camp it was. Whew, great. I'm just seeing it again. That's all I'm saying. So she's a tough broad, and I absolutely love that. I don't think her character could be done any better. Great actress, great script, great everything. Perfect. Dad, Mr. Strucker. Dad was cool. Dad was very cool. I know this is just a TV show, whatever. It's all scripted, but I've been in a situation before at a job where people thought that I was stealing, and they thought that I had stole. Not that it was a continuous thing. They thought that I had stolen something. It was a huge mistake, and I just simply did something really incorrectly. Not enough to get me fired, but nonetheless, like, I knew I didn't do anything wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I'm still sitting in there with loss prevention, who they called in from corporate, and I'm sitting there like, okay, did I steal something? Like, did I murder somebody? Like, they can really make you believe that you did something horrific, and, the whole idea of plead to this lesser charge, and, like, this just goes away. Otherwise, we have to call the police. We call the police, and, like, they will really scare the piss out of you. And, like, dude, 6 years military, you know what I'm saying? Infantry. Bring the ruckus, but still, like, they're sitting there like that, and I'm thinking I'm going to go to jail and all that. I'm like, did I steal stuff? So, wow, man, like, what exactly, could you break this down? What exactly is going on here? Yeah, the idea that he stood tall for that is just like, listen, this is the way it's really going to work. I loved that. I loved that he pulled that off. Now, at the very end, it got a little shaky. Is he going to break? Is he going to turn around and give up the headquarters for the mutants? At this point, it shouldn't really matter because they relocated, but will he actually turn out and, like, no, I got to look out only for my family and, nobody else. I'll screw over everybody else. I'm hoping not. Because, like, especially in the beginning, that first scene, that opening scene where he goes over and he tries to help the mutants as best he can. We didn't do anything wrong. You're right. You didn't do anything wrong. Those guys were wrong. But you're the one who the law is going to come down on. I'm a prosecutor. I've seen it plenty of times. Please, just walk away. Literally, like, swallow your freaking pride, dude. Go away. Just leave. Wow. That was a good scene. And then seeing him here also, wow. I really hope he doesn't turn. Because it's going to be one of those situations. I'm trying to remember a good movie where they did something like that. Narnia. It's going to be like a Narnia scene. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to see that again. So, yeah. I like Dad. Let's keep Dad cool. The last thing to really talk about is Polaris, is Blink. It's been done a lot of times, but it's hard to really screw this scene up. You know what I'm saying? The idea that, she's unconscious, but her powers are still going. We've got to somehow find a way, we've got to find a way to contain. We're containing this, but we can't continue containing it. Let's go back and actually try and fix the situation. So the way that they pulled it off was pretty cool. I dug it. The whole hospital thing. I liked the whole, is he beating, like, you think about the inter-ethnic relationships, where somebody will say something like, is this person beating you? Why? Because different ethnicity? Is that why? I've seen that before too. So, yeah. Wild thing. Plus, honestly, when you're in the military, it sounds like it's a really glorious thing, but no. People find out you're in the military, outside, it's like, thank you for your service. Do you beat your wife? Are you a violent person? Do you go out and get drunk all the time? Are you dangerous? Do you carry a pistol or some other kind of weapon on you? Wow. We get a bad rep. We genuinely get a bad rep. And if you don't know that, it's because you're not in the military. So I felt for this situation, because this kind of came back around on me a little bit, where I'm thinking to myself, it's like saying this guy was former in the military, so he clearly must have PTSD, clearly must be domestically beating the crap out of his wife, or significant other. Clearly all these things must be the case. So that was presumptuous, and it was good. It was good. It's also, yeah, I like the way that she handled it. I like the way that she kind of saw, just this is the material that they're giving us. She got to see herself from a position of privilege. You know what I'm saying? Because her husband is a prosecutor. They've always been at the upper echelon, and suddenly she finds herself, oh, my kids, I got 2 kids and they're both mutants. So that privilege kind of vanishes away. And now she's not prepared. She doesn't know how to handle this sort of an environment. So, and she's getting educated. She's getting schooled. I've got examples of how that's the case also, but not the point. It actually just involves selling fruit overseas, where this guy thought that it's okay to charge someone based on if they look like they can afford more. Then this guy got put in the exact same situation by one of his own countrymen. You know what I'm saying? And he was so infuriated. I was like, so you still think? He's like, no, you were right. I was wrong. Sorry. What else do you say about that? So so much that I can relate to with this episode. I don't see how they could have made this episode any better. This was great. But I do have that one final complaint I was talking about. This kid should have been Robert DaCosta. This guy, I don't actually remember his name on here. This guy who's like the lead mutant guy. First of all, John Proudstar is freaking awesome in this. The Thunderbird character. He just holds his self so well. I can't wait to see his episode. And like I said, I do expect that one of these days he is going to die, because that's what happens in the comics. Several times. 3 times by my count. But he's a absolutely excellent character. I love seeing him on the screen. He doesn't have a whole lot of interaction, but when he does, this guy is awesome. But the guy who's playing the Sunspot wannabe should be Sunspot. I mean, everything's there. And now at the very end, they're like, oh, an incident in Rio de Janeiro. You mean where Robert DaCosta's from? Why isn't this guy just Sunspot? That's what I want to know. I'm so sad. Like, is there some kind of a issue back and forth? I don't know. But he should be Sunspot, because he's one of the coolest characters in the New Mutants ever. Ever. I did like Wolfsbane a lot too. Mirage is kind of cool. Anyway, guys, that's all I got. This was a great episode. Easily has to be one of the best TV shows on TV. Okay, it's late for me, early for everybody else, guys. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.